for the same reason you talked about with Sam Darnold. He's been absolutely incredible. And then you're going into this game, all the storylines, the headlines was about Kirk Cousins' return, and you walk away saying, wow, this team is much better than where they were with Kirk Cousins. And a huge reason of that is Sam Darnold. But the other fact of that is, once again, Brian Flores showing you what he can do as a defensive coordinator.
Well, guys, the Minnesota Vikings just continue to do what everybody thought wasn't possible before the beginning of the season. I mean, before week 1, if you would have told me that Sam Darnold would be throwing for 5 touchdowns in week 14 to move to 11-2, I literally would have thought you were insane. But here we are, and there have been so many reasons behind this team's success, and I want to talk about them all. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 40,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, let's get into this incredibly dominant 42-21 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. This wasn't just another W to throw on the pile. This was a statement game, one that showcased everything the Vikings have been building towards all season. Like I said, coming into the year, everyone questioned the Vikings' direction after moving on from Kirk Cousins. Many believed this team would stumble, trying to find their identity with a new signal caller. Yet, the Vikings front office made a calculated gamble, and it's paying off in ways no one could have predicted. According to several reports and fan reactions, the decision to bring in Sam Darnold as the starting quarterback was bold, but now it looks like the perfect call. It's safe to say that the entire organization's faith in Darnold is being rewarded. And Darnold absolutely shredded the Falcons secondary. 5 touchdown passes is an eye-popping number any day, but what really stood out to me was how calm, collected, and in command he looked. He read the Atlanta defense like a book, expertly utilizing pre-snap motion, quick timing routes, and well-designed play-action plays to keep the Falcons off balance. We're talking about a quarterback who came into Minnesota with a lot of doubters. People wondered if he'd ever fulfill his potential after a rocky start to his career elsewhere. But under this Vikings coaching staff and surrounded by a talented supporting cast, he really is thriving. From the very first few drives, Darnold set the tone. Short, decisive passes, mixing in some deeper throws when Atlanta tried to stack the box or cheat up on shorter routes. By the time we reached the second quarter, you could see the Falcons defense starting to unravel. They tried to bring pressure, and Darnold countered with quick hitters to his receivers and tight ends. They dropped more defenders into coverage, and he patiently waited for the windows to open up downfield. It was a masterclass in quarterback efficiency and poise. To better understand why Darnold performed so well, we have to look at the supporting cast. These Vikings receivers have been nothing short of elite, even beyond the obvious star power of Justin Jefferson. Since he often commands double teams, it opens up opportunities for other playmakers. The Vikings have skill position depth that's been groomed over the past few seasons, and now it's all coming together. I mean, take note of how they use their tight ends, how they spread the ball around to their slot receivers, and how Aaron Jones often comes out of the backfield as a reliable check down option. He's always been that way, but my point is, the offense isn't one-dimensional. Darnold's 5 touchdowns weren't just bombs to one star player, they were distributed to multiple weapons who have each bought into the team-first mentality. It's that versatility and unpredictability that makes this offense a nightmare to defend. We can't talk about the passing success without giving major credit to the offensive line. For years, this was a unit that raised questions about whether they could hold up against physical defensive fronts, but throughout this season, they've tightened up their pass protection, given Darnold clean pockets and paved running lanes that keep opposing defenses honest. Against Atlanta, this line played one of its best games in my opinion, allowing minimal pressure and giving Sam time to go through his reads. And I mean, I know it's obvious, but having a stable offensive line allows the Vikings to maintain balance when the Vikings tried to blitz. When the Falcons tried to blitz, the line picked it up beautifully. When they tried to drop back in coverage and clog passing lanes, the Vikings ran the ball effectively, forcing the defense to step up, which then reopened passing avenues. That's a sign of a cohesive, well-coached unit working in perfect sync. Several players have been stepping up big time this season. Young defenders like Dallas Turner and Gabe Murphy have brought fresh energy to the rotation. They might not be total household names yet, but they definitely have been building their reputations. On the back end, safeties Josh Metellus and Cameron Bynum have turned into steady, reliable presences. They're not just holding down the fort, they're actively creating turnovers and preventing explosive plays downfield. And their communication and ability to read opposing offenses have been vital, and that really just comes down to watching film. It's this collective effort on defense that makes the Vikings so dangerous. You can't just pick on one weak link because everyone is doing their job to their best ability. Brian Asamoah deserves a shout out as well. He's been a sideline to sideline force, closing down running lanes and making sure tackles. Against the Falcons, his ability to anticipate cutbacks and step into the hole prevented Atlanta's offense from establishing any consistent rhythm on the ground. With multiple defenders chipping in like this, it's no wonder opposing teams are finding it tough to keep pace. So now sitting at 11-2, the Vikings are in prime position as the playoff picture takes shape. Minnesota obviously isn't just looking to make the postseason. They're angling for a top seed, and with the way they're playing, it's not out of the realm of possibility to see them somehow secure a first round bye. They're stacking wins, and more importantly, they're stacking dominant wins. Wins like this one against the Falcons are crucial not only in the standings, but also in building the team's confidence as we approach the home stretch. And then the influence of the coaching staff cannot be understated. This year, more than ever, it seems like the Vikings coaches are really on the same page with the guys, especially Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores. The game plans are evolving from week to week, never getting stale, always incorporating new wrinkles. And then a stable locker room environment where leaders on both sides of the ball hold each other accountable has forged a winning culture. When players talk to the media, you can just sense their confidence, camaraderie, and commitment to a common goal. They're not just playing for personal glory, they're playing for each other and for the logo on their helmets. I mean, let's just take a look at some of these interviews to see what some of the guys have had to say about the team as well as the media.
I felt great. I definitely had to thank the Lord after that first one, but it's just been a long time. Just getting that double team, especially in the red zone. Triple team sometimes, and today we just got a little bit of that man-to-man on the motion. So it was great execution, great throw by Sam, and me just finishing the play. So it definitely felt great getting back in there.
From my perspective, I just looked up, seen the ball, and then I went to go get it. But after reviewing, I seen that he bought time on a couple of plays. So we're gonna salute him for that, for just extending time and giving us a chance.
Late in that game, you guys look at the scoreboard. You see you and JJ are top of the league in receiving. How good does it feel for you guys to both be eating in the same game?
Man, it felt great. I feel like that's what we came here to do, and we doing it.
And then you throw that in with us giving Sam the ability to have time to go through his reads and everything. He's going to find the open person. These receivers know how to get open. They know how to create separation. And that's for the blocking unit to give Sam time. But as long as we give him time, he'll be good.
You were once a young player in this league. What have you seen in terms of the maturation of Jordan Addison at 22 years old and doing what he's doing?
He's special. He's going to be doing this for a long time. You can't tell, on the field, you never think he's 22. The way he plays, the way he thinks, the way he sets things up.
That's really all I have to say for this video. It really is incredible what the Vikings are doing. And I mean, it's not a fluke as much as some of the other fan bases would like to say. The Vikings are a team that you don't want to face in the playoffs, especially when the offense is clicking, because we all know how dangerous the defense is. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, please let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.